Hello, my name is Gary Schotten, and I'm so happy to be with you again in this series of teachings on inspiring better business. And today we're going to talk about there's a difference between being an employee versus an entrepreneur. And, I start off this whole discussion by saying very, very clearly that one is not better than the other. The issue is finding who and what and how you're to go through life in those two questions, because most of us have to work someplace, and an employee position is mainly for the masses. There's quite a few employees, and yet there's a few people that need to step up to the plate as entrepreneurs and actually own the business and head that direction. I'm of the opinion you really don't choose as much as you think you want to choose those things, because I've seen people that wanted to own their own business and it was just horrible, absolutely horrible. They were frustrated day in and day out. It could cost them their marriage, it cost their family. It was just the wrong thing. And I know other people that they're stuck in a job and they're just frustrated. They can't believe that time is going on and on and on, and they want more challenge, more opportunity. So it isn't that you're going to choose this, I think, as much as you're going to discover this. You see, if you had the chance to divide the population into those people that are over 6 feet tall and those that are shorter than 6 feet, that's not really something I got to choose. I'm not quite 6 feet, so I'm under 6 feet. Somebody else is over 6. They're kind of stuck a little bit with that, and they learn to deal with it. In my case, I would say that in being not stuck with it, but discovering what you are and how that you arrive at the best at what you're going to be is going to be the object. I believe that God has a lot to say in our lives in this regard. I'm not going to preach to you, but I think God has a plan for everyone on earth. And the closer and quicker and more defined that we can find God's calling on our life, the better off we are, the happier we're going to be. If you were in that category of an employee, here's my suggestion: that you find somebody that you can get passionate about, that somebody that they have a vision, they're the entrepreneur, they're the owner, they're the leader, they have a cause, they have a product, they have a place that I could just dig in and be very satisfied helping put someone else over, some company over with their vision. Now, hopefully that visionary is also fair and will honor you and pay you fairly. But you're going to be able to go home at night and you're not going to have to worry about a job necessarily or paycheck, because that's kind of shifted to the owner's responsibility. So some people can't handle, they don't want that extra responsibility. I understand. It's not you're better or worse. I would make sure that you understand as an employee, many times you're going to start out as an employee, and you may spend a part of your career as an employee. Maybe you will know you're going to be an entrepreneur, that you're going to be a business owner, and maybe you won't even know it until you get a few years under your belt and you see, hey, I could do that. So sometimes it could be progressive. You see, as hard as I want to be a basketball player, I can't jump. I can't get off the ground. I can excuse it, I can practice, I can do anything I want to try to jump more unless it's a springboard, but they don't allow that in basketball. So I'm kind of relegated to what God has designed me to do. Now let's talk about the entrepreneur. That's who I am. I know I was raised, my dad was an entrepreneur. I know I have been, and yet to my knowledge, none of my brothers and sisters have that same DNA that I have. It's not that I'm better, it's just that I'm different. And I will say that part of the definition of that entrepreneur is someone that has the ability to have a vision and actually take risk. You see, I'm a risk taker. I'm a calculated risk taker, and I hope to be able to cast vision for other people to join me and be a part of like this company and other things I do. But those are some of the characteristics that you're going to need to be an entrepreneur. A lot of people say that they're entrepreneurs just because they have a job, but a lot of business owners are just frankly a contract labor. They never get to the point that they could leave their day-to-day work. Say a bricklayer. I'm not knocking bricklayers, but if every day you have a business card and you've got a bricklaying job, but you have to lay brick that day, be on the job every day, then you've got a small company or you're just a self-employed contractor. That's fine. You have some freedom, but I'm talking about the ability to have more freedom than that. So one of the things about an entrepreneur that I've seen is that you've got to be willing to go against the herd or against the flow. A lot of times people are headed down a path, the masses are going this direction, and the person that thinks differently, has a different vision, sees something different, goes a different direction. My dad actually told me several times when he was living, he said, he trained himself to kind of go opposite the flow of everyone else. He was referring to buying cattle, see the cycle of buying cattle in the feedlot and feeding them out and being the beef business was very cyclical. And so if he was buying cattle when everybody else was, he's probably going to be on the wrong side of the profit realm, because when everybody else has them fat, ready to sell, the price is going to be low. So he actually forced himself to go a lot of times against the flow. Let's talk about my dad. He did things that they thought was crazy. He was farming in Kansas, where there's a lot of nicer ground, a lot of better farm ground, a lot of moisture, and he moved to the Dust Bowl, in where there was dirt, not a lot of rain, taking a high risk in this round. People thought he was crazy to do that, but he went against the flow. He had a vision, and he was not afraid to take risk. He took risk in the cattle business, and a lot of people thought he was crazy when he did that, because he's just a farmer. No, he mixed farming and the cattle business together. I'm a bit of that same category, because I moved my family from a good paying job in a big corporation after almost 9.5 years to take on a starting fledgling moving and storage business with a borrowed horse trailer. I had a vision for where this could go, and I was willing to take a risk on this company right here. I was tooling along after I'd sold my first business, my trucking company. I set out of business for about 6 years, and then when I'm age 55, I take on a huge responsibility with a lot of debt to take on this business here. And that was, I didn't even let people call me crazy, because I didn't let a lot of people even know about it. It was a crazy thing to do, but I felt comfortable with it. I had that drive, that energy. I had a vision, and I was willing to take the risk. So I encourage you to not try to be something that you aren't. Just find out more on that one question. Am I happy to be a part of somebody else's vision? And you can be extremely successful in doing that and very profitable. Are you not going to be happy there, and you're going to want to be in the visionary, be the one responsible? A lot of pitfalls in being the visionary, a lot of pitfalls in being the owner. Don't think it's a walk in the park to accomplish ownership. It's a lot of challenges. It's very costly sometimes. Well, I hope this is helpful to you. Please be a part of this. Share this with others if you will. We thank you very much for listening.